CK to 42424 to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
It's time.
You know what time it is?
Game for Tuscaloosa's longest running sports show.
The biggest goal of our team,
especially in the first half,
we at Bama, we're trying to be the best. Always is to win a national championship.
Something cool to look back on.
We don't want to waste a failure.
You're inside the game.
John Mechie on the ground.
Appreciate your interest in the game.
On your home for Alabama sports.
Alabama wins.
Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. And now, here's your award-winning host, Ryan Fowler.
229 days ago, Nick Saban hung up the headsets and said, I'll trade it for ESPN College Game Day. I'm out of college football. Little did we know, 2 days later, Kalen DeBoer would be hired at the University of Alabama. We've spent a lot of the offseason. For those who are just now tuning back in, we welcome you back to Tuscaloosa. If you're coming to town for the very first time in 2024, we are talking Alabama Crimson Tide football, and we have learned a lot about Kalen DeBoer, and there is a quiet confidence that is growing inside that building from the people that have spoken to many different people. You look at this Alabama football team, I think they're here to surprise some folks. When you look at the world of college football, what won 5 years ago no longer can win. Or would be dominant, 5 years ago. And if you took these teams and went back 5 years, the college football has changed. If you've even got a little bit of a sample size, whether it was week 0 or maybe you was watching last night's games, when you look at what wins in college football, it doesn't take as much, in my opinion. Yeah, it takes a lot to win. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't, but I think the depth issues has changed the world of college football that we live in. When you think about the Alabama Crimson Tide football, here we are. But we also would love to be able to start with condolences and prayers to Coach Saban losing his mother at the age of 92. You think about Coach Saban and you think about his family. So know those are one of those, when you think about losing a parent, it's never easy. So we'll start with that, and then we're going to work our way to Rodney Orr, TiderInsider.com. He's the editor, the founder of the incredible website. We'll talk with him of his expectations. And then we'll get to Brent Beer. We'll get to Lee Sterling. We're going to do SEC Parlay Pick Contest presented by Brian Harden Construction, ASME certification, I-beam installation, fabrication. If you're building from the ground up, let's build something together. It's Brian Harden Construction. We're opening up today, and we're going to take phone calls. We'll do our SEC Parlay Pick Contest, but we're always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. 1.99 APR for 36. The Camry, the 2025 Camry, 3.99 APR, and that vehicle is getting over 50 miles per gallon. It is Tuscaloosa Toyota. It's TuscaloosaToyota.com. Let's go to Rodney Orr, TiderInsider.com, the editor, the founder. Hey, Rodney Orr, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome into the game in T-Town.
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
I'm ready. It's been an off season, Rodney. As you know, it's 231 days. We've spent a lot of time, but here we are, a little bit over 24 hours away from seeing the 2024 edition of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah, it's. I think everyone's obviously extremely excited. Been waiting for this, as we approach tomorrow. Certainly been waiting for that. And start of, we've had the start of college football, but the start of Alabama football, it's different. Really marks the start of college football, for us anyway, those of us who cover it, follow it, and what have you. So with this, Nick Saban now no longer on the sidelines, and everyone's kind of just been waiting to see Kalen DeBoer. I mean, the start of this era. So, again, there's a lot of excitement, even though at the same time I think there's, a lot of people that still, think back on Coach Saban and, the career that he had and how unusual it's going to seem with him not on the sidelines. But then again, you look forward and, certainly glad that, Kalen DeBoer is going to be there.
Rodney, when you look at this football team, what is the strength? And I know we've talked about this, but we're now, putting an end to fall camp a couple of weeks ago. Classes on the campus of the University of Alabama started on the 21st day of August. So that was kind of officially, but there's still, a couple of days of extra prep day for Western Kentucky for the upcoming season. When you look at the strength of this team, what do you think it will be?
Well, I'm probably going to go with something that nobody else is. I'm not going to say nobody else, but maybe most people wouldn't think. And this is just my guess. We won't know until it kind of goes along. But you asked me what I think, And I think what the strength of this football team is, based on what I kind of picked up in the practices that we got to view 20 minutes, 6 or 8 of them, I think the bond, the chemistry that they have, I think a lot of these players have rallied around with this coaching staff, with Kalen DeBoer. I think they've, built a lot of strong bonds there on this team already, among the players. I think there's a lot of trust. I think it's created a lot of passion. I think it's created a lot of energy, a lot of intensity. And I think these guys are ready to play for this coaching staff. That's what I really feel. I think that's a strength. I think those are the kind of things that can carry you. You can have talent, which they have, and you can have a lot of different things that you need to be successful. But I think this is the kind of thing that could maybe, help you get where you want to go in terms of the goals that you have. So that would probably be, that may not be what you want, necessarily someone wants to hear in terms of what's the strength of the team per se. But if you want to say that, if you want to look at that, that's a good question. I would say this, Ryan. I really like what I see in the trenches. I think the offensive line has a chance with that interior, and with Caden Proctor at left tackle, and with a couple of guys developing there at right tackle, Wilkin Formby, Elijah Pritchett. I think the offensive line has a chance as it kind of develops together to be good, be really strong. That's going to certainly be a major key. But I think on the other side of the ball too, and I've said this since March, Ryan, what I said the first time I went out there and watched them in spring ball when I saw that group of defensive linemen. Again, not that there's a bunch of first-round draft picks running around out there like we've seen in 2015, 16, whatever. But I think that we see a lot of really, really good players, talent, depth, maybe some inexperience here and there. But you've got Jaheim Otis, Tim Keenan, Damon Payne, Tim Smith. I'm hearing a lot of positive things about all 4 of those guys. Also, LT Overton, the transfer, hearing extremely positive things about him. There's other guys. We could go down the list. But I think the trenches is what I'm really watching. I think that might be where it ultimately starts with this team.
And all of us are going to be glued in on that right tackle spot, and we may be able to deliver some stuff before the end of the show. So I've been given some information, but we'll see if I get liberty to discuss that as we look at that offensive line. So that'll be one of the things that we'll dive into. But, Rodney, when you go there tomorrow, and really almost that question that you just answered is basically the same question, but let me ask you, when you're going out there, from your eyes, the way that you analyze college football, give me the things that you're going to be watching to say that this can be a successful season, that this can be, maybe a surprise. When you go out there, what are you glued in? We understand it's Western Kentucky, 31.5-point underdog, certainly an inferior competition, but, they've got some wrinkles. And what will you be glued in on to confirm that this football team can accomplish some of these goals?
Yeah, and I do. I think you're right. You have to be careful in that first game. Again, I'm not taking anything away from Western Kentucky, but sometimes you can't make too much out of whether it's a dominant performance or whatever. But what I would say is, fundamentally, how did they execute? And again, you get better and better. I understand it's the first game. Tackling's not always, at its best in the first game or whatever. But, you really want to see them tackle well, be in position, not seem confused, not be out of position, because this is going to be, for example, their offense. Quarterback that just left, he threw for 8,000-plus yards and 71 TDs over the past 2 years. Now, TJ Finley's coming in. He's a really capable guy. They got some good receivers. They're going to be well coached. They're in a great system, right? So they're going to challenge this young secondary. But what you want to see, you don't want to see guys out there missing tackles all over the place. That to me, that'd be a horrible sign. You don't want to see the Olay blocks up front, on the offensive line. You want to see some, good, crisp, fundamental play. And again, I understand it's a new system all around. There's new coaches. The players are going to be it's kind of getting their feet wet and all of these different things. But I do think you want to see a pretty solid degree of fundamentally sound football. I'm not really necessarily looking for anything flashy because I think some of that stuff right now is not really, it can kind of be misleading. But I want to see something really sound fundamentally.
Rodney, when you look at this Alabama offense, are you expecting this offense to score a ton of points? Because, you look at the defensive side of the football, there's going to be some growing pains, but do you think the offense can counterbalance that?
Yeah, I think there's going to be until we see it.
Sure,
and that's
absolutely.
What
it's the unknown. It's the unknown.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what's created so much excitement. Rodney, your board's off the charts. The other day, Hey Coach, they said it was the biggest, best crowd that they've ever had. It was standing room only, but it was packed, busting at the seams. And we've seen that throughout the offseason. You and I have talked about it. Maybe the unknown is what's created some of this anticipation and excitement.
Yeah, and that's why, we had our Powder Insider luncheon yesterday, and one of the people there asked the question, one of the attendees asked the question, he said, now look, he said, everything I hear, everything you've reported from camp, other people have reported, the radio shows, even the coaching staff has been extremely positive. He said, it can't be that good. And I said, well, there's going to be adversity, yeah. But, there is a lot of positive things that you see. But I always say, how does it translate onto the field? How does, this just things we don't know until we see the team actually play. All I've seen is I've seen 20 minutes of practice. I don't know how many times, 8, that's positional drills. So all I can really go on is, what I see athletically and what they look like physically, which I think both those things look really good. You sense the intensity, the focus, all of those different things that we already talked about, right? But we didn't even see a scrimmage. We're going on what we hear. So that's kind of hard to judge. But knowing the talent, some of the talent. I know some of the talent because we've seen them play. And knowing what Kalen DeBoer's track record is offensively, I think he's going to put them in a position to be successful, score points. You asked about points. I'm expecting something positive. I just don't know exactly what right now. I can't put my finger exactly on it. I know Jeremy Bernard told you that they were going to score 40 points a game.
He did.
And he said it with a lot of confidence. Look, Jeremy saw it at Washington. I get it. Well, it's a little bit different playing week to week in the SEC now. I will say that. But I don't think it was a cocky thing. Let me be clear about that. It was not cocky at all. That's not the way he said it. So I want to be clear. And I think the attitude has been really good on this team overall. You talk to the players. They're excited. That's one thing I'm basing this, my positive vibe on, is these players seem really excited. They're enthused. There's passion there, it seems. Now, how much does it carry them? These people around here expect 17-0, right? They expect playing for the national championship every year. So, when you say things positive, they think that's what it means. And I don't know that that's what it means.
I just think there's so much change in college football. We've watched it in the first couple of days, how the clock runs. What used to be, 40, 50 points a game. Yeah, you saw some teams do that, but the way the clock runs, the way that, you watch the operations, there is just so much change. I love what Mack Brown said. He said, I've been involved with the game of college football for 40-something years. We've experienced more change in the last 2 years and all the other years combined. And that's a true statement. We all have. And it's this year maybe even different. And don't get accustomed to 12 teams because they're going to 16 at some point. So when we talk about the world of college football, it is ever changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you talk about that, and I think too when you look at you talked about the strengths. Okay, so on the offensive side, I talked about the offensive line and these running backs. So I think that Alabama's probably going to lean on the running game quite a bit. Doesn't mean that they don't want to utilize all those skilled people they have, the tight ends. I think they're going to be more involved. I think they've got a really good group of receivers. But I think if you can balance things out. It doesn't have to be all on Jalen Milroe's shoulders. And it shouldn't be. To be able to have that kind of balance when you can run the football, and that makes him even more dangerous, makes them even more unpredictable. When you can have guys like Jam Miller and Justice Haynes and that offensive line leaning on people up front, throw Richard Young's name in there too. But when that offensive line's leaning on people, knocking people off the ball, that makes a big difference. And it'll make a big difference for the defense, too, to be able to hopefully control the ball a little bit. They're going to make some big plays. Obviously, they're going to have the talent to do that. As Kalen DeBoer talks about explosive plays all the time. But I do think I do think this team has a makeup of where they can line up and run the ball.
You talked about fair expectations, or the world that we live in, 17-0 national champs. But let's go to Ryan Williams. You've been talking about this young man for a long, long time. We talked about recruiting with you, and we try to lean on you with your expertise. When you look at this Alabama football team, what is fair for a young man that should still be in high school that reclassified for this year? We've all heard the buzz. We've watched it. We've watched videotapes. We've been out there. When you look at Ryan Williams, what is his expectation level for you, or your expectation level of him? Well,
I'll put it to you this way, because it's funny. I was thinking about that this morning. Everybody asked about, and they asked yesterday at the luncheon, what about Ryan Williams? Who does he remind you of? Well, to me, in a lot of ways, he reminds me of Devontae Smith. He's really fluid. He's smooth. He's incredibly athletically gifted, but he adjusts the ball extremely well. I mean, he looks like an outfielder out there sometimes, the way he judges that ball. He just makes it look so easy. And, Devontae was that way. Devontae was smooth. He was silky. And some people say, well, Ryan's faster. I don't know if he is or he isn't. Devontae always just seemed to be as fast as he needed to be. But whatever it is, he does remind me a little bit of Devontae Smith. But then I was thinking about this morning, how many balls did Devontae catch as a freshman? 6? Is that right? 8? Maybe? Wasn't many.
I'd have to go back and look, but I'll trust you.
I didn't even look at it, Ryan, but it wasn't many. I know it had to be under 10. I'm pretty sure about that, at least going into the playoffs. But he did have some, obviously some big plays. The one at Mississippi State in second 26, one of the biggest school history, of course. And I know he had a great touchdown reception from Tua in that Vanderbilt game. It was an incredible play. So I don't really put numbers on it in terms of expectations right now. There's a lot of different guys that are going to touch the ball, but I think Ryan Williams will. I will be a little surprised if he doesn't bring people to their feet fairly quickly. I'll just put it to you that way. I think when he does get his hands on the ball, he's going to, people are going to take notice. As it goes along, I think maybe this year and as his career goes along, he's going to be extraordinarily exciting player to watch.
Rodney, I want to go back to your prediction. You shared your prediction with Gary, WVUA Sports Director Gary Harris, our very own here at Tide 100.9 on TITV. What was your prediction?
It was 44-17.
Ooh,
I saw somebody, Brian, I think I mentioned this to you yesterday. I meant to text it to you. Oddsshark.com picked it 31-27, I think. I think it was 31-27 Western Kentucky. That was an interesting pick.
Yeah,
then I saw
she's an idiot.
I saw she picked Alabama A&M to beat Auburn. So, anyway, I picked it for
a lot of these are just hand grenades, and they hope they miss, and if they don't, then they pretend like it never happened.
She's a Notre Dame fan. She picked Notre Dame to beat A&M.
Well,
I think it's at A&M, right?
I think the same guy that broke the story earlier this week with Football Scoop about the NIL collective closing was a Notre Dame guy. So this Alabama fatigue runs deep, my friend.
Yeah. Well, so, Ryan, I just think that you look at last year, and I don't know. It's hard to predict how much carryover from last year in terms of you're looking at Western Kentucky. They were 2-5 in games that they gave up 155 or more yards rushing, and I think they were 6-0 in games less than 155 yards rushing. So I'm sitting here going, do I think Alabama will rush for 155 yards tomorrow? I think they certainly should. We'll see. But so I mean the game in terms of it shouldn't be in doubt. In my opinion, I think Alabama should win handily. But again, I don't know. I don't know if that's a lot of points. But I think because we don't know about this team, as we said, but that's what I went with, 44-17.
44-17. I'll take it because, like I said, this is one of the things that I was telling the score prediction guys earlier this week. You got to kind of adjust. You just don't know what the limit's going to be. What led last year, the year prior, with some of these rule adjustments.
Right.
Will that be the same? I don't know. 44-17. I know that you've seen, some of these teams play like high school teams this couple of days. And, you saw Missouri last night, 51. Arkansas beat Arkansas Pine Bluff. Bless their little heart, 70-0. So, Sam, congratulations. You probably won't get many, but you at least got one for Sam Pittman. So, Rodney Orr, TiderInsider.com. Hey, Rodney, I can't wait. It's going to be a long day tomorrow, though. I love the 6 o'clock start because it's a little cooler weather, right? Just a little bit cooler weather. But tomorrow,
I've got 99 on my car temp right now. I don't know what your radio station has it, but it may be that I'm sure it's not that warm, but it's scorching. I know that.
Well, it'll be a refreshing, but tomorrow's going to be a long day. It will be a long day because you've waited 230 something days, and then you get here, and then you got to wait all day. But there'll be plenty of games. You get to watch. Georgia Clemson is going to be an early game, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning on ABC. So that'll be a game that we can all keep an eye on and see what everybody else looks like. And then we'll go to Bryant-Denny Stadium and we'll see what Alabama and Kentucky goes like. It looks like tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. on ESPN. Rodney, I appreciate you so much, man. Have a great rest of your day.
Appreciate it, Ryan. Take care.
Thank you. Rodney Orr, TiderInsider.com. Always fun to bit a visit with him. We're going to run through these spreads, and then we're going to take your phone calls. We are going to talk with Brent Beard and Lee Sterling. So we're going to have 2 more guests to go. We're always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. 3325 Skyline Boulevard and online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. We'll take more of your phone calls coming up. T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
This hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
Labor Day weekend and opening weekend of college football will put a record number of people on Alabama highways this weekend. Earlier troopers will be out in force to assure safety on highways and waterways. The mother of former Alabama head football coach Nick Saban has passed away at the age of 94. Mary Saban Pasco was survived by 2 children, 6 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. Former United Mine Workers Regional Executive James Gale Kearns has been indicted on federal court charges of destruction of Warrior Met Coal Company property.
Supplies. Stop by Northport Electrical Supply, Monday through Friday, 7 until 4, right next to Northport Auto Supply, Highway 82 West in Northport.
DanielMooreArt.com. Daniel Moore Art celebrates those special moments of Alabama football history like 4th and 31, Jalen Milroe connected with Isaiah Bond, or the legacy continues with all the great memories of Alabama Crimson Tide football. You can celebrate Coach Saban with a Nick Saban print, the limited edition canvas. You could also find many of the great mini prints. Celebrate that special Alabama fan in your life. Daniel,
where every new Honda comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. 1.9% APR for 36 months on 2024 Ridgeline models through Honda Financial Services. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for details. Offer ends 9/3/2024.
The game is powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. David DeSantis, the largest selection of new Toyotas in over 3 years, can be found on Skyline Boulevard, 3325 Skyline Boulevard. Also a nice inventory of pre-owned inventory. You can find the new Tundra, the 2024, the Tacoma 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. How about a new 4Runner, Highlander, RAV4, Camry, Corolla? For those outside of Tuscaloosa, save.
You're feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky partially sunny this afternoon. A few scattered showers and storms around through the evening hours. The high today 96, the low tonight 73. Tomorrow morning sunshine. Again scattered showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. The high 93. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
The game with Ryan Fowler. Powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota. On your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
One thing I said that I would never do. A look from you and I would fall from grace. And that would wipe the smile right from my face. Do you remember when we used to dance? And incidents arose from circumstance.
Man, you've been fired up with this music here lately, Jackson. I mean, you've been clicking. Your old man would be proud. Your old man would be proud. And you know who else is proud? Kalen DeBoer. He's proud of you, man, because you're relating You're relating to his music. You're relating to his music. All right, here we go. Let's go through these lines because even I think it was Tyler Booker on the next round said that he goes out there and he sees just tons and tons of the old 80s music. He said there's one song that plays literally every single day. I don't know what that one song is. We got to find out. We'll work our sources. Let's go to a couple different things. Okay, I'm going to run through these lines. We are not going to play the overs this week. There's too many games. You got a lot of non-conference games, plus now there's 16 teams in the league rather than 14. So we're not going to play the over. The only over that we're going to play is Alabama. So that's the only, and for those who listen to the show and you know what this contest is all about, I'll explain the rules because I do forget. We pick 3 games, and then we give a tiebreaker. Let me look up the call board. Paul and Lincoln beat Robert by 3 minutes and 50-something seconds, maybe 4 minutes. So Paul and Lincoln will be first up. Paul, get a tiebreaker ready. Get a tiebreaker ready. Paul, get a tiebreaker ready. But we picked 3 games. You got to hit all 3, and you hit the tiebreaker because the tiebreaker – it only comes into play if you have more than one person hits a 3-team parlay. They're a little bit of a challenge. All right, so we start this evening. Norman, Oklahoma, going to be hosting Temple. Oklahoma minus the 42. Oklahoma minus the 42. The big game tomorrow morning, Clemson, Georgia, early, 11 a.m., right there on ABC. Georgia minus the 11.5. We've seen this line adjust a little bit. Georgia minus the 11.5. Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech minus 13.5. Virginia Tech minus 13.5 against Vanderbilt in Nashville. Knoxville, Tennessee. Chattanooga traveling over to Knoxville. 38.5 point. Tennessee is the favorite. Colorado State, Texas. Texas minus the 33.5. That game is in Austin. Miami, Florida. A game's at the Swamp. Miami's the higher-ranked football team, and they will also be the favorite in the Swamp. Miami minus the 2.5. Miami minus the 2.5. Old Dominion against South Carolina. South Carolina minus the 21.5. Eastern Kentucky, Mississippi State. Eastern Kentucky going to Stark Vegas. They go there as an underdog. Mississippi State 24.5. Western Kentucky traveling to the University of Alabama. Alabama minus the 31.5, and we will play the over. You can play the over or you can play the under. 59.5. 59.5 is the over under 59.5. Furman against Ole Miss. Ole Miss minus 42.5. The over, no, never mind. I'm sorry. Ole Miss 42.5. 42.5. The Ole Miss number at Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. Notre Dame going to be going to Kyle Field in College Station. They'll go there as an underdog. Texas A&M minus the 3. Texas A&M minus the 3. The Auburn Tigers are going to be hosting Alabama at A&M. It'll be a battle of, I guess, I don't know, who's going to be the worst team in the SEC, or excuse me, who's going to be the worst team in the state. Auburn's a 47.5 point favorite. I was about to say underdog. That would have been crazy. Auburn minus the 47.5. Kentucky, Southern Miss. A game's up at Kroger Field. Kentucky minus 27 in the Bluegrass State. Kentucky minus the 27. Then Sunday evening, we've got USC and LSU. LSU minus the 4 out in Las Vegas. It's a neutral site game. So Southern Cal, LSU's ranked 13. LSU minus the 4. Paul and Lincoln, get ready. We're coming to you coming up right after the... Now, I did this as a special request. Usually we play Yay Alabama, the final bumper music going into that final break. And then right before that, we play Western Kentucky to show some respect for our opponents. We don't play Auburn when they're coming to town. We don't care about Auburn. No, we don't. No, we don't. We hate them.
Not at all.
We're an unbiased member of the media. We hate them all except Alabama. So when you look at the Yay Alabama, a little fired up for us. Let's go to Paul and Lincoln. He's going to get things fired up. How are you, my friend? Welcome into the game in T-Town.
Ryan, is Tuscaloosa ready, my friend?
Oh, baby, we are. We are ready. We are ready. I'm where Josh was yesterday. I don't know where Josh is going to be today, but yes, we are. Yes, we are. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready to head down 2059 to T-Town tomorrow to watch the Kalen DeBoer era. Just think, Ryan, and I know you were there. Me and you got to see Coach Saban's final game as coach at Alabama.
Oh, man.
And we're going to get to see Coach DeBoer's first game at Alabama. So that's pretty good company, I guess. Even though we hated the way the Rose Bowl ended, but that's just
to be able to say that you were there at the first one and there with the last one. In this Kalen DeBoer era, here it is. It gets started. It gets started. There is a quiet confidence inside that building. I've talked with people that have been around here prior to Nick Saban's arrival. I've talked to people that went through the entire 17 years. This team has built a chemistry. It's a trust factor. The relationships are authentic, and I think these players have something to prove. I wouldn't be shocked if this team can stay healthy if they hoist up a trophy over in Atlanta twice.
Amen. Amen. You said it, Ryan. You said it. I got a question for Ryan. Does Auburn suck?
Yeah, they do. It's spelled a little different, though, for those that – think about it. We have so many new listeners, Paul. Explain how you spell it the way we do it here in Tuscaloosa.
Well, there's no question that Auburn sucks. They suck. They absolutely suck. They even suck at sucking. But I'll say it. Let's put our hands together, and let's all embrace the suck, which is Auburn Tiger football. That's S-A-U-C-K.
Now, Paul.
S-A-U-C-K.
When's the last time they've had a winning season? Do you know?
Well, they have not had a winning season the last 3 seasons.
Okay. And then that fourth one,
I guess,
go back, is 6-5. So they barely were a winning season. So,
they I think the 2020 season was the last time they, I guess you would say they had a winning season. But listen, that program sucks. You hear me? They absolutely suck. I can't stand them. I wish they were the underdog tomorrow, which I know they're not. But they literally suck. They suck as a fan base. They suck as a program. Lee County sucks. That area of the state of Alabama sucks. I wish West Georgia would annex them into Georgia.
Well, Tommy and
I don't like sharing the same state with them.
May have had the best line of the day the other day. He said 66 counties in the state of Alabama, and I went, no, Tommy, there's 67. He said, I don't count Lee County. They're Georgia's. We gave them. We gave them away. So
yes, I agree with Tommy. Absolutely, man.
That was a good comment. Paul, I got a little business to take care of here. But going back to the Auburn folks, have you been cooking them any food on that new Rectech grill that you won last year? Have you the grand prize winner? Have you been sharing with your Auburn brethren in your neighborhood?
Not only no, but hell no. They're not going to get any meat from my Rectech grill. Okay.
Have you already cooked on the?
Not yet. That's next week. I'm off next week, so I've got some pretty good menus already lined up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're gonna keep us up to date with the Rectech. I've also got some other business to go. Last year, Paul had I've got some other business right here to take care of. I got some more business right here to take care of.
Oh, mercy. Let's hear it.
So, Paul, last year had more balls in the bucket than anybody else. And just so happens he won the grand prize package about a month ago. Rectech Grill and Mark Smart gift package, Rocky head-to-toe package, a lot of gift cards from great folks like Dreamland, Southern Ale House. Greatly appreciate all of our great sponsors for chipping in and making us a great grand prize package. Paul, last week we did our first score prediction, and we had it was kind of like a warm-up. It's kind of like just practicing, a little stretch and stride just to make sure that we're kind of in flow, teaching people how to do the score prediction thing. And Georgia Tech, you had 24-28, and you were the closest. So early on, Paul's already got a ball in bucket. Are you saying everybody's playing for second place here?
Well, Ryan, after week 0, I've got one in the bucket. Yeah, man alive. What can I say? I thought that game would be a little closer. I picked it Florida State 28-24, but I thought that game would be a little closer than some of the experts. And I guess at least for week 0, I was right. So thank you. I appreciate that, Ryan.
You were. So congrats to you. Let's get right to our picks, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Ton of fun for Alabama to open up this Kalen DeBoer era And let's go. Tiebreaker. We'll go tiebreaker, too. We've got to talk about tiebreaker before we get to these picks because it's your selection as the first caller out of the gate.
Yeah, why don't we go total rushing yards for Alabama?
Ooh, I like that. I do like that. That's a good number. That's not what I was thinking, but I love it. I love the number. Total rushing. Got it.
Right. Okay. All right, give me, I hate to say this, I'll have to bite my tongue.
Auburn?
Give me the Tennessee Vols.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Give me the Georgia Bulldogs.
Got it.
And give me the Florida Gators.
Florida plus the 2.5 at home against Miami. Total rushing yards for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
288 yards.
UT, Georgia, Florida, 288. Paul, I got you, man. Thank you so much, and safe trip down to T-Town, man.
Roll Tide and roll MAGA.
Paul and Lincoln helping us out. We'll continue with more of the phone calls. Robert in Mobile, get ready. We're coming your way. Bama Nick, I see you. All right, let's continue with more phone calls, and we go to Robert in Mobile. Robert, you're in the game. I hope all is well.
Hey, man.
How are you, Robert?
Well, looks like the college football is going to start tomorrow, right?
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Robert, we've been all absorbing a little college football. You're a numbers guy. It seems like we're having less football, right? Less plays, clocks running, 2-minute drive or 2-minute warning. I mean, there's just a lot of changes. How do you think it will impact the game?
It should lower the points.
It should. It should.
At one point, the points were getting outrageous.
They were.
Years ago, the SEC was embarrassed. What was it, the LSU and Florida State, or what's it, Texas A&M, LSU and Texas A&M, with that ridiculous score they had?
Well, Arkansas played like high school 101. Nothing against high school, but you shouldn't go against SEC teams. Arkansas, Pine Bluff. Yeah, you're not very good. Bless your heart. But 70-0. Poor old Sam Pittman. He's like, can we save these points and roll them over to another game? No, you can't, Sam.
Yeah, I think Auburn's going to do something similar as well with their point. Try to show out as much as they can.
Look at the Tigers! Oh my Lord! Peyton Thorne, Heisman winner. Look at him. Oh, no, last time we said that, they lost to New Mexico State, too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But I think they'll try to wash that taste out of their mouth, beating up on this low-rent team they're going to play this weekend. So they'll have that. And I guess, the DeBoer era is going to begin. We have a lot more optimism with this. It's not the typical, replacing the man.
Sure.
Like a lot of schools do have. They're both saying you don't want to be the man to replace the man. You want to be the man to replace the man because usually the next guy fails miserably. Generally because the other guy who was there before has run his course, got, let stay longer than he should have, lost his step, and had a train wreck of a team at the end. Joe Biden, and that's his way to get replaced. Won't get kicked out by the team, by the fans, and then gets replaced. And usually the person inheriting the next team inherits a mess. Well, DeBoer is not inheriting a mess. He's inheriting a really solid team.
Well, and
that's why
the only sample size that we have is Les Miles replacing Coach Saban when Coach Saban departed for the NFL. And Les Miles won 11 football games the year after Coach Saban left. So that's really the only sample that we truly have. Like you said, this is a weird scenario, right? I mean, you have someone retiring, not getting fired, or not a scandal, or some of these other schools, remove on. We've had to do that. I mean, we're not pointing fingers, but in this case, the foundation is pretty solid.
Yeah, so, DeBoer may be one of those rare instances where you do want to be the man replacing the man.
That's right.
Because the man didn't leave you in a bad way. It's rare, but it's happened this time. So, yeah, I'm looking definitely for them to show out in this first game. It's made to order for them, and I just see they're clicking on all cylinders coming out the gate.
Yep.
I got to admit, Arkansas looked pretty good coming out. So
They did, but I mean, they were playing. Ooh, man, bad. I mean, I was watching them. Those guys didn't even know how to tackle. I mean, it pitiful. But hey, Robert, give me 3 picks, man. We're top of the hour right here.
Okay, yeah. Definitely on Alabama.
Bama.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, he's going to do it.
All right.
And Auburn, they're going to try to make themselves feel good, so they're going to rack up the points.
Okay, and then total rushing yards for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
And this is going to be really interesting. It could go either way. I'm going to say 275. 275. I think maybe, Jalen Milroe may get feeling good passing and get that deep ball going, which is what we hope. And so definitely looking forward to tomorrow. And one more thing, that interview yesterday, goodness gracious alive. All right, man.
Which one? Oh, yeah. I thought you was talking about one I did. I thought yeah. Okay, I got you, Robert. Yeah, it was.
No, that incompetent person that, Okay. Good play, man.
Thanks. Really smart to put that right there in the middle of. So we're going to be serving you guys some, and we'll serve anybody else. But someone predicted that Alabama's going to beat Western Kentucky. Going to get beat by Western Kentucky. Bama Nick, how are you? Welcome into the game.
Woo, Ryan Fowler, it's Parlay Pick Friday.
Yes,
been waiting on this for months.
So let me ask you.
Ask me anything, fella. I'm a boring caller.
Okay.
My last call was boring. You told me it was a boring call.
Yeah, but today you get a rebound. You got a chance to flip the
I
script.
don't need a rebound, fella. Anytime I call this show, it's a great call. You remember that, fella?
That's right. I just lost my notes, but here it is. Yeah. Great call. Number one caller of the game.
That's right, fella.
Everybody else is playing for second place. It's kind of like
there you go.
Bama
every other call I listen to your show, they suck. That's why they need to come to my school.
Well, that didn't really get off to a good start, did it? And
nah, they didn't.
I mean, they don't
want to be number one caller.
Well, they can't hang with the big dog. They said, you know what? There's really no challenge. Bama Nick's always going to be number one, and I'm playing for second place. So,
because I bring a lot of things to the show that they don't ever think about bringing.
All right, so here we go.
All right, here you go. What do you want to ask me, fella? Come on with it. I got people that texted me, said, Bama Nick, call in today.
Yeah, you got to bring the heat.
Like
all right.
Call.
So what would you tell this individual that actually picked Western Kentucky to beat the University of Alabama, quote, a media person? Bama Nick, you're talking to that individual. Talk to me. What would you say to the person who predicted? I mean, really an expert, right?
An expert? Well, I'd say he needs his credentials pulled. And I don't know what show he's talking about, but he must be an idiot, or he's smoking some wacky-backy or drinking a lot of malt liquor beer.
Oh, so you think it's alcohol influenced the decision to pick Western Kentucky? Okay.
Yeah, you won't tell. Who is it that predicted that?
Odd Shark is what Rodney was talking about. He was telling me about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I just say he needs to check himself into a damn mental institution.
Are you willing to pay for it?
Hell no, fella. I can't even pay for my 12-pack of Miller High Life half the time. I have to charge it.
Yeah, that Biden inflation, it's got us all. So
there you go, fella. There you go. I mean, I don't listen to these idiots that predict Western Kentucky to beat Alabama. They're crazy. That's the only thing I can say. They're crazy.
But what would you tell them, Bama Nick, if you were talking to them? Like, Jackson's going to record this, okay? Jackson, record this for Bama Nick, and then we're going to send this to this individual who predicted this. What would you say to them, Bama Nick?
I'd ask them, are y'all crazy? Are you crazy? I mean, what are you tripping on?
How many lines of acid did you do?
Yeah, either that or you on the fentanyl. I mean,
it could be. I
don't know what I'd say to some idiot like that. Of course, it ain't. I know it ain't Peter Burns or Tony Barnhart or none of the other ones I talked to.
Yeah. But you've got some out there that are doubting. But that's okay. I don't
know, fella. I don't know what I mean. I just say you're a damn idiot. What do you want me to say, fella?
Well,
I can't use what I really want to say. That's what I
wanted you to say. That's what I wanted you to say.
Yeah, I get you fired, and I'd be thrown off the air for a year.
Yeah,
so,
right. All right, so here we go, Bama Nick. I'm ready.
All right, fella.
Now, because you've been telling us when you first started calling this show 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it's been, you said
3. I think it's 3, fella.
Okay, you said that you were one of those guys that just, unlimited parlays. You just hit them left and right. Look at what I hit last year, fella. I got beat out by Paul from Lincoln by one pick. He had 3, I had 2. You had 2. You won the Super Bowl, but I don't know if you hit a parlay pick, did you?
I hit a parlay pick. Oh, come on, fella. Don't give me that crap. I won 2 parlay picks last year.
Okay. Well, let me go back. I'm right. I got it right here. Just hold on. Just bear with me.
Well, look it up, fella.
Bama Nick hit the Super Bowl.
Right. And I normally don't fool with that Super Bowl crap. That's pro.
I don't think you hit a parlay pick. I think you hit a regular score prediction.
Well, it might have been that too. Anyway, I had 2 balls in the big wheel.
You did. All right, so we want you to prove. The number one caller's got to bring the heat. So let's go with these 3 picks because during the break I'm calling Vegas and I'm putting big money on these 3 picks.
All right. Well, you better listen to me now.
All right, here we go. I got my pen. I got my piece of paper. Jackson's recording. We're ready.
Well, Jackson, you take Georgia. What is the line? 11.5.
11.5. 11.5 for Georgia against
Georgia.
Georgia. Are you a dog?
I told you that earlier. I told you that earlier in the week. I told you earlier in the week when I called in and said Georgia's going to beat the hell out of Clemson, which they will.
Okay.
I told you that for all you other callers to listen to me.
All right.
I gave you an early pick.
Okay.
Take Florida.
Got it.
What's the line on the Florida?
Miami minus the 2.5, so Florida plus the 2.5.
There you go. Take Florida.
Got it.
Plus the 2.5.
Okay.
And go down here. And I told you earlier in the week I like Virginia Tech versus Vanderbilt.
You did.
Take the over in that game.
No, we're not. We're not doing overs. We're only doing 1 over because there's too many games. They got 16 different teams now in the SEC, so we're only doing Alabama the over. But you want to take Virginia Tech minus the 13.5 or Vanderbilt plus the 13.5?
Oh, I ain't gonna fool with that one. Then I got to make another. I thought you're doing a parlay, Ryan. You can take the over and under on a parlay.
Well, you can.
You know that.
But there's too many games.
You're changing the rules, pal. See, you're changing the rules.
Well, I was watching the interview last night, and they're changing the rules, so I figured I'd change the rules too.
Well, you can't do that, fella, with the callers. Hell, fella, you see, I've been mulling on this all day.
Well, yeah, but last year we did some overs, but we didn't do them every week.
No, every time I call in and do overs on games, you would take.
All right, so I tell you what, just in courtesy of all of people out there listening, I'm going to run through these lines because Bama Nick's a good reminder. Let's go Temple.
Yeah, I ain't heard the lines yet.
Well, I did it at 2:30, but you're intoxicated, so it's okay.
No, 2:30. It was 3:30 my time. It's not 2:30. You got to remember.
I know, but we're broadcasting in Tuscaloosa, so it was 2:30 for our time. We don't do Eastern time. It's the same thing. We don't do Alaska time either.
I'm listening to you on Eastern time, fella.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. You can listen to us wherever you'd like to listen to us from. Temple at Oklahoma. Oklahoma minus the 42. That game is actually this evening. It's a 6 o'clock ESPN out in Norman. Clemson, Georgia. Georgia minus the 11.5.
I already told you Georgia. I got that one. I ain't worried about that.
Okay. Virginia Tech at Vanderbilt in Nashville. Virginia Tech minus 13.5. Tennessee going to be hosting Chattanooga. Tennessee's a 38.5 point favorite. Miami traveling to Florida. Miami minus the 2.5 in the Swamp. Texas going to be hosting Colorado State. Texas minus the 33.5. Old Dominion against South Carolina. South Carolina 21.5. Mississippi State going to be hosting Eastern Kentucky. Mississippi State minus the 24.5. Bama against Western Kentucky. Bama minus the 31.5. We will play the over-under on that. Only one game. 59.5. You can take the over. You can take the under. Ole Miss going to be hosting Furman. Ole Miss minus 42.5. 42.5 is the number. Texas A&M going to be hosting Notre Dame. No Fight Irish. Texas A&M. Right. Hold on. Texas A&M.
I don't need no more. I'm
what everybody else does. Texas A&M minus the 3. Auburn going to be hosting Alabama A&M. Auburn minus 47.5. Kentucky, Southern Miss. Kentucky minus 27. And then LSU and Southern Cal on Sunday evening. LSU minus the 4. Pick number 3. Talk to me.
LSU minus the 4. Wait a minute now. LSU minus 4. Give me Notre Dame, Ryan Fowler.
Well, you only had to pick 3, not 4.
Well, I don't want the damn. Listen to me, Fowler. You sit here, you're trying to screw me up. You know I've been forward. I said USC and LSU, but then
help!
Come on, Fowler. I got people saying,
I'm as confused. I'm as confused.
A lot of people want to know my pick.
All right, let's just start this all over. Okay?
Let's start it over,
Let's start it all over. We go to caller number 6 here. Bama Nick from Americus, Georgia. Bama Nick, good afternoon. You're in the game. How are you?
I'm above the dirt, Fowler, so that means I'm doing pretty good.
All right, give me 3 picks. Parlay picks here.
All right, give me Georgia.
Georgia minus the 11.5.
Give me Florida.
Florida plus the 2.5. And pick number 3.
Well, that's the one we're trying to decide on.
They don't pay me enough money. They don't pay me enough money. Help!
Give me USC against LSU.
Okay, so you want to go USC, Southern Cal.
Plus what? 4.5.
It'd be plus 4.
Oh, man, they went down.
You got my sheet so screwed up.
I got the early lines yesterday. It was 4.5. Now you're telling me you set it at 4.
Well, it's moved. I mean, it moves. I mean, it'll move for the game. Okay, total rushing yards. Do you know who Alabama is? They're playing Western Kentucky. Total rushing yards is our tiebreaker.
I ain't fooling with that game, and I would advise everybody else don't fool with it.
Well,
but if I had to pick
it, oh Lord, please.
No, if I had to pick the game, I'd take the under 59.5. Ain't that what it is? Over and under.
It is. Okay, give me the total
rushing.
I
would take the under.
For total rushing for Alabama's the tiebreaker. Where do you want to go?
287. I like Paul from Lincoln's assessment, so I'm gonna go 1 yard below him because I respect his picks.
Okay, Bama Nick, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Roll Tide to you.
I'm gonna have a great day, and I got some other callers gonna be called in, and you remember one of them.
Okay,
you take that call. You take AC's picks, and you take Matt from Gainesville, Red Dog, when he calls in.
Okay, we take everybody. We don't discriminate.
And don't take these. Quit taking these buzzing callers. Quit taking the buzzing callers, Fowler.
We've got to run. Thank you so much. Let's continue.
Bama Nick.
Yeah.
You want to go through all those points again. I'm just kidding.
Hey.
maybe the ones I'm asked for. I may get you to give me a refresh line. But I've never heard anything like it. And then he wants to turn it on you. Man, we love you there, Bama Nick, but
do we? I don't know if we do or not.
Well, I was getting there. Sometimes we don't. Maybe we don't. But I know he's all right. He's a good caller.
Okay. Yep, he is.
I still want that drink with you, buddy. And we're gonna have to draw cards, high cards, who pays for it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anyway. I'm interested in the Miami-Florida game.
Okay. You want Miami or you want Florida?
I want Miami. Okay. Isn't it 3.5? Wasn't it 3.5?
It's 2.5.
2.5. All right. Well, I like that. 2.5. Miami.
Okay. Pick number 2.
I like A&M.
Texas A&M or Alabama A&M?
Texas A&M.
Okay.
And what is the line on it?
It's Texas A&M minus the 3.
Perfect. I'll have that. And then also, what is the Georgia Clemson
line? Georgia minus 11.5.
I'll take the Clemson.
Okay. Clemson plus the points, and then we go Bama rushing yards.
333.
All right. Sound like you're still sick, JR. Get to feeling better, man.
Well, I'm getting there. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Let's go to Bubba in Northport. Bubba, good afternoon. You're in the game.
How's it going, my friend?
I'm great.
I had a great lunch today with Ellis from Manchester, Tommy from Romulus, and a new guy that just came to meet us because he listens to the game all the time, Cal Chris. He's going to start calling your show. So.
Cal Chris?
Yeah, Cal. He's from California. Just
he
moved
is.
to Tuscaloosa.
Okay, well, Cal Chris, it's good to have you, man. Good to have you listening to Miller's Edge from 12 until 2, and then we pick it up every day at 2 o'clock. We'd love to have you.
He came there specifically because he heard us on your show on the Miller's Edge to meet us.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah, so it was great to finally meet Tommy and Ellis that I've been talking to, But Tommy, we still can't talk him into a cell phone. We tried today, so.
I've been trying for 10 years. Good luck.
I know. It ain't going to happen. But he's happy he's got his ticket now. That's all he was worried about. So.
Bless his heart.
But anyway,
Bless his heart.
I'm going to give you some picks.
Okay.
I want Georgia at 11.5.
Got it.
I want Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
And USC.
Southern Cal, I assume, right?
Right. And 289.
I got you.
Is the over permanent with just one team this year, or just for today?
Don't know. We'll kind of have to make that, like when we get into the SEC games and you have some bye weeks, because we have double bye weeks. There was just so many games this week. Right. You had 16 teams. Now you did eliminate 2 last night with Arkansas and the Missouri Tigers playing, but you had all those games, but then they're playing different teams, right? So they're not in league play. So that's why there was just too many. So we'll kind of evaluate it week by week. We'll put it in there if we need it to add some numbers, because we'll probably have some weeks in there that'll have bye weeks. Like Alabama's got this year's got a double bye week. So Alabama's got 2 bye weeks. You got one after Wisconsin, right before Georgia, and you got another one right prior to LSU. But Bubba, thank you so much, man. I got to get to Brent Beard. Roll Tide. We'll continue with more Brent Beard, Jacksonville, Florida. Lee Sterling coming up. We're going to squeeze in more phone calls. Let me see who's up next. Actually, no, don't answer that. Well, you're going to need that line right there. So sorry about that. Let's do it like that. There we go. It'll make them mad, but that's okay. We need the line for Brent Beard. And that was my fault. I cut the line off. So Jackson and literally, he's like, as soon as we're dropping a call, and that's the great part of listening to Tide 100.9. Remember to download the Tide 100.9 app. 5 hours prior to the game, we're going to have tons and tons of coverage. Now, we are the flagship home of Alabama Crimson Tide football. We're going to roll right into the game. So we have streaming rights as well. So you download the Tide 100.9 app. It is a free download. Android, iPhone, Google Play. We cover the Crimson Tide. We actually, we go to practice. We go to media availabilities. We have a chance to cover the Crimson Tide daily, and we do it every day. This show, for you coming into Tuscaloosa, we do it every day from 2 until 6, but it's just not just me. It is a 12-hour lineup that starts with national champion winning fullback at the University of Alabama, 6 a.m., Martin Houston, 7 until 9. Wimp and Barry Sanderson. Wimp Sanderson, legendary basketball coach at the University of Alabama, and his son from 7 until 9. Gary Harris, WVUA sports director, and our very own here at Tide 100.9 from 9 until 11. 11 until noon, Wyatt Fulton, which is our program director and digital editor from 11 until noon. It is T-Town Sports Daily. And then leading right into Corey and Christian Miller. Corey played a long time in the National Football League. Matter of fact, he's one of the SEC legends for South Carolina. South Carolina going to be on our schedule this year. when you look at South Carolina coming to Tuscaloosa. Corey, we know Christian from a captain. He was a multiple national champ at the University of Alabama. 12 until 2, the Miller's Edge from 12 until 2, and then we pick it up every day starting at 2 o'clock. We're always powered by Tuscaloosa Toyota, TuscaloosaToyota.com. And today we are doing a Brian Harden Construction SEC Parlay Pick Day, and we'll guys for being a part of our show. DCH, Trauma Services, Emergency Services, Surgical Services, Women's Services, Orthopedic Services. It is DCH Regional Medical Center. Let's continue with more of your phone calls. And here we go, 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. We'll go back to those phone calls coming up here in about 15 minutes. Right now it's First Coast News, Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, Brent Beard, how are you, my friend? Welcome into the game in Tuscaloosa.
Well, I'm also quite glad that DCH delivered Brent Beard a few decades ago, too. So we were excited to come into the world.
Today?
In the hospital back then.
Oh, no, at DCH. I'm sorry. I was thinking I missed your birthday or something. I was like, okay, no. DCH, yeah. See, I should have let you do the plug.
You really need to do it now. Hey, Ryan, would you? I would think the delivery room's a little different now, don't you?
Probably, but it's probably looks a lot of the same. It probably looks a lot of the same. DCH has been there for a long time, but they've been serving and not just serving. You know, as you talked about. I mean, you're from Walker County, but this hospital that's a regional medical center. It serves about 6 counties surrounding areas. So a lot of people choose to come to Tuscaloosa and come to DCH. So, when you look at Pickens County, Greene, Hale, Bibb, many folks come here to Tuscaloosa. We're thankful that they're part of our show.
No doubt. I'm glad we're part of college football beginning again. We've got some games tonight before we get to the onslaught of tomorrow, Florida Atlantic, Michigan State. Temple at Oklahoma. Some folks probably forget, okay, Oklahoma's in the league now, and this is their first game. And if you want to take a snapshot at Alabama's foe in Wisconsin and see how Tyler Van Dyke is going to be doing, you can do that. And then we got the late game at 9:30 Central with TCU and Stanford. So it's a nice Friday night coming up, young man.
Yes, it is. College football, a couple of years ago when they introduced some of these Friday night games, they're like, okay, they were not very good, but then you've got the Pac-12 After Dark. That was kind of the first team that kind of launched that. And I thought it was a good move for them.
It was.
If you want to brag on the Pac-12, even though it's no longer the conference.
Pac-2.
Pac-2. But, hey, it got it started, and Friday night is, I guess in some ways, though, I feel like it's competing with high school football, which is a little unfair because that's the feeder system of the college game. But it is what it is. You got plenty of games. And as you mentioned, you've got Oklahoma and Temple, and then you've got Wisconsin and Western Michigan. That'll be this evening's game at 8 p.m. local time on FS1. So if you want to see what Wisconsin's going to look like,
yes,
you can do that in TCU and Stanford. So, Brent, any takeaways from last night? I mean, Sam Pittman looks like an undefeated football team if they can play Arkansas Pine Bluff every week.
No doubt about it. The reality for them is this is. I'm going to make an analogy. It goes back to Alabama here. When you get the right guy in there who can run your offense, and that was Bobby Petrino, even though they were playing a much lesser foe, you could see they knew what they were doing. They were ready to play. Their new quarterback connected well. And I think that goes back to Alabama to a degree, too. And in that I really do think it's going to be fascinating to see how that staff looks tomorrow night, and Bryant Denny, and how on the same page these guys are, and how they're going to be able to throw it around. So that's kind of what reminded me of the Arkansas game. And look, they had nearly 300 yards rushing, and Rocket Sanders, their best back, is at South Carolina. Missouri had no issues. Brady Cook, Luther Burden, they just kind of ran any direction they wanted to go in their game. But it was just good to see two SEC teams that were playing, and they did what you should do when you're playing a foe that's outmanned and outnumbered. Is they took care of business early, and I think that's what Bama would do tomorrow night. But doesn't that make sense, Ryan? You start clicking, you get the chemistry going. You're up big at halftime, and you empty the bench in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's it. And you put some things on tape to make some other teams kind of prepare for you. But if you're Alabama, Brent Beard, don't you have to get this Kalen DeBoer era started to build some confidence? These players have heard, how great this system is. They've seen it. They've practiced it. I don't think you can be sluggish. You got to come out firing on all cylinders. So, not saying that you're going to be conservative, but I'm also not going to say that you're going to, show everything. But you need to come out with some explosiveness to kind of send a message, not just to your opponents, but also your team as well.
Well, I think they can do that, and they've got the guys, but particularly at receivers, that I think that you can even get involved in the run game. I don't look. We're going to have to wipe our eyes a couple times because we're actually going to see an offense that has some pre-snap motion. And I think they're going to be able to get the ball maybe on some jet sweeps and with some of these receivers who have got, like Kendrick Law, who are basically track stars. But, Ryan, can't you do that without giving anything really away? I'm sure they will go deep some, but you don't have to throw the ball 70 yards down the field to use your guys, and if you do that, let them get them in space near the line of scrimmage, and let them go the distance with some of these things, and that's how you can get them involved without really showing a whole lot of what you're going to do.
What do you think is this final score of this Alabama-Western Kentucky game? Then we're going to move on to some other games in the SEC.
I think it may be 42-10, something like that, and that'd
be right there around Vegas's number.
Yeah, that may even be conservative a little bit, frankly. But it will be. They're just a significantly better team. This will be the third time for T.J. Finley, I believe, after being at Auburn and LSU. And T.J. Finley is not. Congrats to him, I guess, but he's not going to be the Heisman Trophy winner either. So it will be fascinating to see. Hopefully, you can have some overcast skies and cool things off a little bit.
Georgia Clemson, you cover both leagues, ACC and the SEC there in Jacksonville, Florida, and the overlap. Give me your thoughts.
Georgia's still the better team by far.
But 11.5 points, that seems like a big number for, two quality teams going toe-to-toe at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Oh, I think they'll end up being about 21, though, before it's over.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I really do. I just think Georgia at some point is able to overwhelm them. Now, the thing to watch here would be the Clemson defensive line with T.J. Parker and, unfortunately for your listeners, Peter Woods. Those guys in that line can keep them in the game for a while. Now, this doesn't mean that this Georgia team is without flaw. Carson Beck is close to being flawless at times. Their offensive line is really very good. They've got to find a go-to receiver. Brock Bowers is out. Don't know if ETN's going to play. The transfer from Florida, Malachi Starks in the Georgia secondary. They need some depth there. Don't have a real signature pass rusher yet. But look, I'm basically just doing what I can to try to find areas where Georgia is weak, and that's frankly just really hard to do.
Yeah, Brent Beard. Let's go through the SEC, and we won't have time to devote every single minute of this, but outside of that, Notre Dame and Texas A&M, both these programs, we were talking about a couple of minutes ago with Kalen DeBoer, needing it. Mike Elko needs a little bit of a fast start. Notre Dame comes there. They go there as a underdog. I know Alabama fans are going to be watching Alabama, but it's a 6:30 ABC game tomorrow evening at Kyle Field. Texas A&M and our good friends from South Bend.
Yeah.
Not really good friends, but
I know they are, and been that way for years since the early '60s.
And have they won a championship lately? Oh
no.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact,
I just like for you to say it.
Yeah. I believe it's been like '89 with Lou Holtz, somewhere in there. So is it safe to say it's been a while?
It has been. Yep.
Now I do like A&M in this game. Connor Weigman is back from being injured and having surgery. Last year, where they're going to be really better is on the defensive line. And they were pretty good last year, but Nick Skirton, who is from Purdue, is a transfer that was unblockable. Shamir Turner, nearly the same. He's a defensive lineman. Also, now where A&M struggled is with their offensive line. They've got to get that together. It'd be interesting to see who they throw it to. And Nia Smith is in the NFL. Now, obviously, Riley Leonard, who was with Mike Elko at Duke. That'll be interesting to see that little matchup. Also, Notre Dame, they're playing a freshman on the offensive line against that A&M defensive line, so that won't be easy. But about 104,000 of Mike Elko's closest friends will be there. And Notre Dame really needs to win this game. They've got an incredibly easy schedule, and they need to win somebody who probably will be in the top 25.
Let's go to Sunday night's game. LSU, Southern Cal in Las Vegas. LSU is the favorite here, minus the 4. But any thoughts on this big game out in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I love this game. It's a tremendous game. LSU has not won an opener since 2019. That's a long time for LSU not to win their opening game. They've had 2 losses to FSU, and they've had another loss among them to UCLA. I think LSU wins this game because of their defense. They've done more for that defense to be better, centered around Harold Perkins. They've also brought in, obviously, a new coordinator. Bo Davis is with them now. Corey Raymond is with them now. Blake Baker from Missouri is with LSU. LSU may have the best offensive line in the SEC, so that will, I think, certainly help them. But now USC's got Miller Moss, who a lot of people don't know about. And, oh, by the way, former Mississippi State running back Woody Marks is the lead tailback at Southern Cal.
Going to be a great weekend. We've got a lot of great games. Brent Beard, we're going to invite people to connect with you at Brent Beard on the Twitter account. Watch these SEC games. Watch these ACC games. Brent Beard, we appreciate you, man, so much, man. Have an awesome weekend. Thank you again for being a part of the show. Here in just a couple of minutes, he's a professional handicapper. We will not be an extended amount of time with him, probably 7, 8, 9 minutes, and we're going to get to some picks, and then that's it. Then we're going right back to the phone lines, and then we'll talk to Pat. Pat, you will be first up, so stay ready. We'll come to you. Tommy, be ready. Blueberry Steve, Montreal, Canada. Roll Tide Raleigh over in Raleigh, North Carolina. We'll take your phone calls. Lee Sterling coming up in just a couple of minutes. It's our Parlay Pick Day. We're going to talk with Lee Sterling. We're going to welcome him back, and we're going to talk about a lot of different great games. Lee Sterling, it is great to be able to have you back for another season. I hope all is well.
It is. And I think it's going to be great for college football, this playoff. I mean, used to be a lot of teams, a lot of fans. You get to mid-November and, you're thinking about which bowl am I going to go to, going to be nothing special. Now, you're sitting 15th, 20th, 25th. you run the table, you win 2 or 3 in a row, and you got a chance to go to the playoff. How great is that?
Yes, you do. Yeah, I mean that's the world of college football. And I don't know if it's great. I'm kind of working.
Oh, I think it's good.
Okay,
I mean, top 4, you get a bye.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
Okay, and we'll see. We'll see how this works. I mean, maybe, but I look at it from a depth standpoint. I don't know where we're going to be at the end. That's my concern, because you're cutting down on the transfer portal. The NIL has spread the talent throughout college football. You're going to have to depend on younger players to make quicker impacts. And if injuries, I mean, we already see that. UNC lost their quarterback, right? I mean, so you got to go down quickly. Well, the problem is your backup quarterback is not a significant player most places, because if he does believe that he's a significant player, he's hit the portal. He's at another place.
Right.
So that's where I worry. I worry about the depth side of things. Just my.
I get your point.
Yeah.
I just think, it's great for fans. It's going to, I mean, so many more games are going to be so important down the stretch. So, and I told my wife. I mean, I'm a Miami fan. I don't make any qualms about it. But I told her, if we make a playoff, honey, we're renting a motorhome, and we're going to gas it up, and we're going to go as long as we go. We'll give it a shot. Maybe it might be 1 game if we make it, might be 2 or 3, but we're going to have some fun.
Lee, let's jump right into it. Miami, Florida. You know a little bit about Miami because that's where you make your home. They're going up to the Swamp against Gainesville, Florida Gators, minus the 2.5. Talk to me.
So I think Miami has their best quarterback, maybe going back since mid to late 80s, and that was with Vinny Testaverde. I mean, Gino Toretta won the Heisman, but he just had talent around him. And I think to go into an SEC school, you got to have 2 things. You got to have an experienced quarterback, and this kid has started 50 games, so he's been there before. A lot of people just don't know about him because he was, playing at a school in the farthest point of the United States in the Northwest in Washington State. And then you got to be able to compete up front. And this is a Miami team that's, in my opinion, top 10 or 15 and as far as, offensive and defensive lines. So they should be able to compete there. I think for Florida to be successful in this game, they're going to have to throw a bunch on first down and keep Miami off guard. And also they probably have to get maybe 2 or 3 turnovers. Their defense, and I'm looking at the talent, I don't think it's any better than last year. They only were able to put together 7 takeaways. So I think they're in trouble. I really do. I think this is Miami's year. They finally put it together. I don't think they're a top 4 or 5 team, but maybe 8 to 15 somewhere. And even Mario Cristobal hired an in-game strategist finally after blowing Georgia Tech and then also a game when he was at Oregon. I like Miami. I think the right team's favorite, 31-24.
Yeah, we had Mario Cristobal. I know I reached out to you and got a few questions a few weeks ago and appreciate that. Let's go to Georgia Clemson. This line has went down a little bit. We played it on our SEC parlay picks at about 11.5. You've got it a little bit higher at 13.5. Either way, it's 11 o'clock game tomorrow. Talk to me.
So if you look at just returning starters, it's about even. Georgia 14, Clemson 13. Dabo just does not want to go into the portal, and I think it's really cost him. I mean, this is not the same team, even close to 2020 when they won the title. Their defensive line is good, but almost everywhere else not the same. Georgia, I mean, they're a 2-time defending champion, and you know what? Kirby Smart said, yeah, if the kid can help us, we'll bring him. So they returned 14, but they added Trevor Etienne from Florida, another tight end, Trevor Urosic from Stanford, and also wide receiver Colby Young from Miami. So they really have 17 starters back. They're 19-9 against the spread in neutral site games. They have the number 4 special teams. And Cade Klubnik, I've been watching him. I just don't think he's going to turn the corner. I mean, last year alone, they scored just 7 against Duke, 16 against South Carolina, and 17 against Wake Forest here. Sometimes you got to lay it if you want to play it. Georgia, 31-13.
All right, so Georgia 31-13 over Clemson, and you were kind of running through that. Maybe one of the reasons why Dabo's not here because he didn't embrace the change. I mean,
and how tight is he? I mean, his coaches show. Did you hear the audio?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I
think he's got. It's I just don't think it's right. I mean, obviously people have high expectations, and he's been very successful in that program. But now, who's going to want to submit a question? We're going to screen everything.
LSU minus the 4.5 Sunday evening against Southern Cal. Talk to me.
Yeah, so 2 third-year coaches, and both of these teams have, I think, pretty fair dreams to get into the college football playoff. I don't think it's a stretch to say there's not at least a 50-50 chance for either team. But I think LSU, even though they don't have Jaden Daniels, I think they're going to still be successful on offense. They've got 3 potential first or second team all-conference offensive linemen. Then you add in Heisman, a guy that, even though Jaden Daniels leaves, they can run the football. I mean, they ran it for 6.2 yards per carry last year. USC can't stop the run. They allowed 4.8 yards per carry last year. Listen to where their transfers are coming. They're expecting as many as 6 new starters on the defense. Only 1 returning defensive line starter, Bear Alexander. One's coming from Vandy. One's coming from Georgia State. 2 each from UCLA and Oregon State. I mean, those are not 4 teams known for their defense here. So, guy to watch here is Avion Thomas from Mississippi State. Not only does he play receiver, really good returner. 33.7 kick return yards per try, and then also he averaged almost 12 yards per punt return. He can flip the field here. So LSU's 2 new defensive starters come from Ohio State and Texas A&M. Much better pedigree here. And USC 1-10 against the spread, neutral site games. Trust me, those LSU planes, they've been flying out for the last 3 days to Las Vegas. LSU, 35-24.
Texas minus the 33 against Colorado State.
I think Texas is just going to go through the motions, and I think that they got big games coming up, especially Michigan next week. They can't afford any injuries at a couple of positions. They're loaded, but they don't have the depth to withstand injuries anymore, especially at running back. And I just think that this Colorado State team is a little under the radar. I mean, they finally found a quarterback, found a receiver, and Troy Horton had almost 100 catches, 96 for 1,136 yards and 8 touchdowns. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. I really respect and like Jay Norvell as a head coach. There's a reason why he left Nevada for Colorado State. They're giving him the money, building the facilities, and they are 10-3 against the spread as a 20-plus point dog since 2012. Texas last year, laying 35.5 against Rice, 137-10. Laying 30 against Wyoming, 131-10. I think they win 45-21, but 33, too much.
Here we go. Kalen DeBoer takes over for Nick Saban. You've got Alabama versus Western Kentucky. It's a big line. What do you think? What do you think about Kalen DeBoer? Kind of wrap up your thoughts here in this final pick, Lee Sterling.
Did a great job, with getting hired at, that late a time. I like where this program is headed. I think this matchup really affects Western Kentucky. I don't think they have the depth or the players at the point of attack to be able to stay with Alabama. My best play is Alabama first half, minus 18. I think they're going to be up 28-0, 31-7.
A free one there, Lee. I got it.
Yeah.
On that one. Okay. So
I like Alabama minus the 30.5, but just in case they let up at the end. But I think Justice Haynes, and I love this name, Jam Miller, going to have big games here. Western Kentucky allowed almost 5 yards a carry last year. T.J. Finley's good. I mean, he played at my alma mater. Before that, he had 2 stops at LSU and Auburn. But Texas State, he was very successful. They'll score a little bit here. I like Alabama 49-13.
Game of the week, Kentucky and Southern Miss. Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com. Lee Sterling, ParamountSports.com, a professional handicapper. How do we get this particular game?
Yep. First 5 callers to call right now, we'll give it to them for free. Call 800-400-9741. Again, the number 800-400-9741 to get that game for free. It's a big one. Kentucky and Southern Miss. Can Kentucky roll here, or is Southern Miss under the radar? They've put the scare on some teams before. And check out the website. Got a bunch of other free pick videos. Huge games going on around the country. I love how they open up with a bang, hitting a lot of big rivalry games. So you want to hop on board, just check us out, ParamountSports.com.
Lee, always excited to talk with you, man. Thank you so much for being
It's 1-800-345-2868, NICOsports.com, NIKCO-sports.com. And in closing, consider it as a Christmas or holiday gift. Get out there and get it. You'll have it plenty of time. It'll come to you sometime in late November. And I know I got plenty of people I've talked to are ordering 3 and 4 at a time. So hurry and do this, because we're almost closing in on the probably about 3/4 of the way sold out of the 5,000 footballs.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Bob. Bob, have a great weekend. We appreciate you being part of the conversation.
Okay, listen, Ryan, you have a good, safe holiday weekend as well, and roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Thank you, Bob Iback, helping us out at NICOsports.com, NIKCO. Let's go right back to the phone calls. SEC Parlay Day, presented by Brian Hard Construction. Hey, Pat, good afternoon to you, sir. You're in the game.
Good afternoon, Ryan. I'm beginning to believe that we're going to cover the line, according to what your prognosticators are saying.
And that's 2 handicappers that we have featured. We featured Brad Powers on Wednesday. Wednesday at 4. And then we featured yesterday. It seems like I like that what Lee Sterling pointed out, that first half line. Even though we're not playing the first half, that's still a pretty solid number. But I think Alabama gets off to a hot start. I think this offense, Pat, you guys serve me crow, okay? I want you to serve me crow. This offense is going to be explosive. I cannot, unless they have some injuries, unless they have some breakdowns that I just don't see. I think this Alabama football team is going to be legit, man.
Who's going to score the first touchdown? I'm saying Ryan Williams.
Whoa, what a question, Pat. What a question. That's one I haven't really thought about. Who scores the first touchdown? I like that.
Yeah,
Pat, why don't you call in here in June and throw that out there? That would have been a good off-season topic right there.
That's a great topic.
That is a great topic.
Like I said, I'm going with Ryan Williams on a bomb from Milroe, because Milroe loves throwing the long ball. He's been doing it. He did it in both games. He's in both practices. He's had a very long ball. Yes, no. You agree?
No, he has.
Yes.
And I don't know. Okay, so long, yeah. The one, and think about, okay, yeah, you got me convinced. I think it could be, but I also want to say this, Pat. I think they're gonna pound the football a little bit too. I think they're gonna use some of these backs.
He's gonna score the first rushing touchdown.
Oh, look at you!
The first rushing touchdown is going to be Jalen Milroe, because we're going to be down inside of the near the 20-yard line.
Okay.
It's going to be, receivers are going to be covered, and Jalen's going to take off and score the first touchdown.
All right, let me also throw this out there. Keep your eye on these tight ends. C.J. Dupree is going to be a high-profile player. We talked about the Mega Millions. The Mega Millions tonight's, what is it, 500 and something million bucks? Okay. Right? Mega Millions? Let me see what it is. C.J. Dupree hit the Mega Millions without hitting the Mega Millions. Let me explain. Kalen DeBoer is going to use that tight end. He's going to use that tight end a ton. $627 million. Now, C.J. Dupree, I don't think you're going to be able to make that. But you're talking about a young man who came to the University of Alabama. Yeah, we used the tight end, but nowhere near what we think it should be capable of. There's a reason why the NFL is such a mismatch. Kalen DeBoer is going to use the tight end. C.J. Dupree is going to make a lot of money in next year's NFL draft because Kalen DeBoer is in Tuscaloosa.
Kalen loves using the tight ends.
And multiple tight ends.
That I've seen. But now, Caleb Downs, does Caleb Downs score a touchdown from wide receiver? Does Caleb Downs score a touchdown from the tight end position? Not Caleb Downs. I'm sorry.
Caleb Odom. Yeah, I knew who you're talking about. You're fine. So, all right. Pat, let's go 3 picks, man. What do you think?
Yeah, 3 picks. I like Miami. I like Alabama to cover, and I like LSU.
LSU. I got it, man. Thank you, Pat. I hope you have a great weekend, man.
Got my tiebreaker.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you stopped me. I'm out of sync. I'm first one of the season.
Tiebreaker is 248.
248. Pat, I appreciate you, man. Roll Tide.
Have a blessed one. Thank you.
Right back to you. Let's continue with more phone calls, and we go to Tommy in Romulus. Tommy, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well. Hey, Tommy. No Tommy. How about Blueberry Steve, Montreal, Canada? Blueberry Steve, good afternoon. You're in the game.
All right, Ryan. How are you?
I'm good.
Just have to take you off speaker. I'm at the cash again at the supermarket.
Okay. Well, just give me 3 picks, man, Blueberry Steve.
All right. Alabama?
Bama.
Georgia?
Minus the 11.5. Clemson tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir. And I got to go against the Books.
Okay, you want to go?
So I guess that's Alabama
A&M.
A&M.
Alabama A&M.
Yeah.
Alabama A&M plus the 47.5.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
and I'm
then,
just glad to hear I was just glad rushing yards make it 392.
392. Blueberry Steve up in Montreal, Canada. Listen to us. Blueberry Steve, give us a Roll Tide in French, please, just to kind of get this day off.
Laissez le bon tide rouler. Roll Tide and roll MAGA.
Thank you, Blueberry Steve. Blueberry Steve calling us from Montreal, Canada. Thank you. Let's continue with more. Cole, talk to me. Give me 3 picks. Roll Tide.
Let me go Clemson. Florida. A&M.
Texas A&M or Alabama A&M?
Yeah. Texas A&M. Aggies. Giggle Aggies.
Okay. And then tiebreakers, total rushing yards?
I'm trying to think. I want to go 175. Okay, let me do 195.
195. Cole, thank you so much. Tell your mom I said a big hello, man. Thank you.
Yes, wasn't that fun the other night at Pigskin?
Man,
cool.
and I wish I'd had more time to talk to you, man. But
I know.
We had a great time. And now, Cole, you're not sharing any of those secrets that Nate Oates shared up on that stage, are you?
No.
Okay.
No, we got to keep it to ourselves.
Hey, yep, you got to buy tickets next year. But Nate Oates was great, and I appreciate you coming out, man. Thank you, Cole.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Roll Tide, man.
Absolutely. And I knew Cole. Cole's mom used to take care of us at the athletic department. His mom worked at the athletic department, and we would go get our room and board check. And she would be the one that you'd sign off. So I always appreciate Cole's mom, and I've seen her a few different places. Some great memories. Trust me, when you were poor as we were as students, assistants, you got that room and board check, man. You were like, yes, sir. Hey, I get to eat for a couple of days. We'll come back. Roll Tide Raleigh, Pee Wee in Grand Bay, Josh in Georgia, Tony in Tuscaloosa. We're taking phone calls. SEC Parlay Pick Day presented by Brian Harden Construction right here on the game. T-Town Tide 100. Welcome you right back into the game. Let's go Roll Tide Raleigh, North Carolina. Roll Tide Raleigh, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well.
Roll Tide, Ryan. How are you today?
Roll Tide. Oh, it's a great day.
We're one Al Bell. We're an Al Bell away, or we're a Kendrick Law away, or we're even a Damani Jackson away from Alabama football.
I'll take it.
So, I was listening to you guys earlier, and you were talking with Rodney, and oh, good grief, the wide receiver you were talking about earlier.
Oh, Ryan Williams.
No, that won the Heisman.
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith. He had 8 catches that year for 160 yards. And the catch in the national championship game was his only catch in the game.
Wow.
So I expect Ryan Williams to pass 8 for 160 before Wisconsin gets here. Would be my expectation. 2 games. I'm not going to say 1, but 2 games. He'll have 8 for 160.
I think that's a safe bet, honestly.
I think that's a safe bet, yeah.
And I was looking, we've got a new sponsor that's coming on next week that is part of an underdog fantasy, and we'll be talking more about underdog in the coming days. But I was looking at some of these fantasy lines where you look at and you say, what is Jalen Milroe's passing yards? What is Justice Haynes' rushing yards? It's really spread out, which is what's so fun about Alabama, is because I came back here after the first scrimmage and I wrote it across my prep sheet. I have fun, tease well, the two things that I always write. The next thing is Alabama can beat you a lot of different ways.
Right. I was looking at FanDuel a second ago, and I was looking at Jalen Milroe. Do you know what his over/under for touchdown passes?
See, you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing what I'm doing. You're just looking at a different website.
I have FanDuel here that I'm in.
Yeah, and see, we're not allowed to use that. Where you can use it, but you just can't. It's 1.5 passing touchdowns.
1.5, Ryan. The overall day, I do believe.
Oh, man. That seems like a...
that seems like an automatic winner.
But, when free money's out there, free money doesn't exist, right?
Those... They don't build those big casinos because they lose money.
And you are dead on the money. You're dead on the money. Every time I pass by them, I'm thinking, yep, they built those with all those people thinking that they had one on them. But
the free money out there, Ryan, is probably will only last for a week or two. Because those guys, those sharks, they own it in very fast.
And I should have asked that to Lee Sterling, because you can get them the first couple of 3 weeks. You watch these spreads because they're still adjusting, and especially now because there's so many different new things in college football. But
with Alabama, they have no idea what to expect.
I've got you.
So the free money's there at Alabama.
I've got you a Ryan Williams line here. I've got a like C.J. Dupree. Let's see, 20.5 receiving yards, and what I've seen from practice, I'll take over on that one. But I was looking at Ryan Williams. Where did I find? I found one last night on one of those fantasy plays. Like, oh man, that's. But Alabama's going to spread the ball around, which could hurt you a little bit, right? I mean, it could hurt you. Jeremy Bernard is 55.5 receiving yards. I'd almost go under that number.
For the long play, Ryan, a couple of weeks ago on FanDuel, I actually forked out the most money I've ever forked out. I forked out $200 on a single bet, and it was a parlay of Jalen Milroe winning the Heisman and Alabama winning the national championship. But I think if Alabama's going to win the national championship, Jalen Milroe is probably going to win the Heisman. I think they go hand in hand.
You know what? I think it's a great spot. I think if Alabama's there at the end, and this is one, as a Heisman voter, I would love to see us push that darn thing back. I want to see the best players, even now more so than where it was in the previous years, because it just seems like when I come out of the conference championship games, I have to submit my vote. I don't like that.
Right.
I'd love to. I mean, now with college football, with us going, we need to look at that and adjust that calendar where you see the best players against the best teams.
I agree, Ryan. I mean, you're going to have 12 teams, and I guarantee the Heisman Trophy winner is going to come off of one of those 12 teams.
Yep. You would hope.
We watched Shedeur Sanders last night. He was playing North Dakota State, Ryan. There was players running wide open everywhere. But as good as Shedeur Sanders may or may not be, he's not going to win the Heisman on a 5-7 team. I just don't believe. I just don't believe it. So I believe Okay, go ahead. Need to go with the numbers.
Yep. Let's go with the picks.
Okay, here we go. I got Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, that is minus the 13.5 against Vanderbilt up in Nashville. Pick number 2.
I've got Alabama.
Bama, minus the 31.5 against Western Kentucky tomorrow evening at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Last week we'll be able to say that, right?
Right. And my third pick I've been struggling on, but I'm gonna go Miami.
Miami minus the 2.5 against Florida. Total rushing yards for your Alabama Crimson Tide.
Let's go 283.
Steven? Roll Tide Raleigh.
Roll Tide.
Thank you, man. We appreciate that. Roll Tide Raleigh. Let's go to Josh in Georgia. Josh, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Good afternoon, Ryan. How in the world are you?
I am great. I hope you are as well.
It is, the eve of Alabama Crimson Tide football. I cannot wait.
Josh, I want to ask you a personal question.
Okay.
How many times did you call to get in this show today?
53.
53 times.
Kept getting a busy signal, too.
Yeah.
So that's how jammed up the phone lines have been. I'm over here at tailgate. Pee-wee's across the parking lot. J-Rob's across the parking lot. We're going to have us a big old time.
Happy Football Friday, my friend. Happy Football Friday.
So I am in Tuscaloosa, and I love it.
Tide. Does the air just smell better than it does in Georgia?
The air smells better. The air smells better. The sights are better. You just yell Roll Tide, and you'll get about 40 people probably before you know it, just to yell it back at you.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
But in honor of Mitchell, of course, I guess I'll give you 3 picks.
Okay.
And I started not to with week 1, but I guess I will. I'll take my Tide.
Bama.
I'll take Clemson in an upset. Call me crazy.
Well, you don't have to get an upset. You get 11.5, so you can play with it there.
Know.
Pick number 3.
And then give me Florida. I'll take Florida. I'll take Billy Napier and the Gators.
All right, Florida plus the 2.5 against Miami in Gainesville. Total rushing yards for your Alabama Crimson Tide. Total rushing yards for Alabama Crimson Tide.
Let's go 295.
295. All right, go ahead with Mitchell. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And in honor of Mitchell, because he is having to work late, he's delivering because it's the last day before season, I will give you this. To the Western Kentucky Hoppers, it's not personal, it's business. And you're next. Roll Tide.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you. Let's go to Pee-wee in Grand Bay. Pee-wee, good afternoon. You're in the game. I hope all is well, man.
Oh, doing great, brother. Just sitting here at tailgate.
Good, man. It's the energy beginning to build here in Tuscaloosa. I can't believe
it is.
I mean, the town is packed. University Boulevard's packed. The coaches show on Wednesday night, as you talked about, it really set the stage for the weekend, and here we are. I mean, we're here. I mean, right now, we are 25 hours and about 15 minutes away from the Kalen DeBoer era getting started here in Tuscaloosa. If that ain't enough to get you excited, then, maybe you need to be not you, but maybe you need to be an Auburn fan if you're not excited, right?
Hey, there you go. I went to the luncheon today that replaced. It was great. It was great. They put on a good deal. They had the soccer coach was there. And then Ellis, I can't even think of his last name. The football
Ellis Ponder. He
was there. That dude's pretty funny. Man.
He's sharp too, man. He's sharp.
Yes, he is. He told a little bit of stuff about for him and Coach, and about stuff because Chris asked him. He always had a little piece of paper when he walked out on the field with Coach Saban. And he said that was the timetable right there. Things had to be done at a certain time and all that. And if it wasn't done, then Coach came to him about it, so he said that wasn't a good thing. So,
listen, when you look at Ellis Ponder, I've heard many different stories, but he was a glue that kept that program together because Coach Saban wanted it done a certain way. I mean, he wanted it done a certain way, and that was, it's his program. Now it's Kalen DeBoer, and Kalen DeBoer, it brought in multiple people. So Ellis is probably maybe the most stress-free. I'm not saying his job is stress-free, but it's a lot less stress than what it used to be because he's got a lot of people helping him.
Right. But he said Coach Saban called him this morning.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, from College State, or where are they? They're at Penn State this weekend, and he had to get Ellis to do something for him, so he didn't have to walk halfway across campus to do something. He could do it all in one spot. So he called and got Ellis to do all that stuff for him. He still takes care of him,
Ellis is a good dude, man. Ellis is a good dude.
He is. He sure seems like it. But let me go ahead and give you my picks, my brother.
Okay. Thanks, Pee-wee. Talk to me.
I am going to go with LSU.
LSU. LSU against Southern Cal. That'll be minus the 4 on Sunday evening. Pick number 2.
Georgia.
Minus the 11.5 against Clemson tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. ABC. Pick number 3.
And then my Alabama Crimson Tide.
Bama minus the 31.5. It is a SEC parlay pick contest presented by Brian Harden Construction. Pee Wee, let's go rushing yards for your Alabama Crimson Tide.
219.
219. Pee Wee, please be safe, man. Appreciate you as always.
All right, brother. Have a good evening. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Let's break right here. We're coming back. We'll take phone calls. We'll go to Tommy and Romulus right here on the game. Tony, get ready. We're right after you, right after Tommy. We'll take Tony in Tuscaloosa. I want to remind you about Nuke's Eatery, 205 University Boulevard, 205-758-2455. You got a great sandwich waiting on you. The Nuke's Q sandwich, the #1 sandwich across the franchise, the French dip sandwich, the pimento cheese, the chicken salad. You know what's better than the club? The Double Club. It's available at our good friends right there, 205 University Boulevard, 205-758-2455. Salads, California-style pizzas, 12-layer cakes. Go see our friends, University Boulevard. Close enough that you can smell the championships. Oh, yeah, right there on the fringe of the campus of the University of Alabama. Tommy, Romulus, Tony in Tuscaloosa, Henry in Texas, Homer Crimson, David, and many others. Next, T-Town Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Leaving home out on the road. I've been down.
They're now house. You got 2 different locations here. You've got the 1530 McFarland Boulevard. That is always a great lunch and dinner options Monday through Saturday, but also the new Dockside. And by the way, they're always, when they just opened yesterday, was first day at Dockside up on Lake Tuscaloosa, up on Highway 43, Marina Drive. Some great ways to celebrate the weekend. It is Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard, and also Marina Drive in Lake Tuscaloosa right there. So open. They're going to be open on Labor Day. They will be open on Labor Day. So this weekend, I know many people are going to be out at the boat, and I want you to celebrate. So appreciate Cal, Justin, Brett, and all the great folks at Southern Ale House, 1530 McFarland Boulevard, in the new location up at Dockside. Let's go to Tommy and Romulus. Tommy, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Hey, Ryan. How are you today?
Busy.
Sound like it.
Well, and literally, I don't know if I've ever seen the phone lines like this. Simply.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, poor Jackson. Jackson, won't you describe what the phone lines are like over there?
Hang up, pick up. Hang up, pick up. Hang up, pick up.
Hang up, pick up. Hang up, pick up. It is, Tommy, I've never said, how many times did you try to call in to get in before you got in?
Oh, well, first time I got in, no problem. Then after you talked to the guy about the football, my phone line went dead or something. It went click. Then it took me about another 5 times to get back in.
Well, there you go. Now, I will say this. The local audience has a small advantage over the out-of-state folks because you got about a 20-second delay on the app. But, Tommy, let's go 3 picks, man. What are you thinking?
I'm going to take the over on Alabama.
Bama? Over, and that's over 59.5.
Yeah, I think both teams will score over 60 points combined.
All right.
I'm going to take the points with Texas and Austin.
Okay, you mean you got to give up the points? Texas minus the 33.
Yeah.
Okay.
And same thing with Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
All right, got it. And then the total rushing yards for the University of Alabama.
263.
263. Tommy, I appreciate you going to high school football.
No, I'm going to go to a tailgate with some people I insulted yesterday.
Well, you know, today I had someone walk up to me and said, you know, that Tommy guy's just rude. I said, I know it. I said, he is rude.
I am rude.
He's mean, hateful.
That's right.
He's like the old man on the lawn. Get off my lawn!
Yeah, I'm going to chase people with my truck tonight. I'll have a fun time. You should come out there. I'll try to chase you.
Tuscaloosa Police Department, if you need to know who this is, I can help you. Tuscaloosa Police Department, if you need to know who the guy that's chasing people down, I can help you. Tommy, have a great rest of your weekend, man. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Talk to you later, man.
Tommy Thunder and I were battling it out right there. I'm thinking, I looked last year. Washington did not run the ball hardly any against the bad teams, and they ran the ball really well against
Look at you doing your homework. Man.
No, I've been doing it. You need that.
Okay. What's the number?
But anyway, I'm going to go. What was his number?
263.
We're going to run the ball a little bit more, aren't we? We're going to pound the rock a little bit more than they normally do. What do you think? Am I right or wrong?
I think we're going to pound the football.
I think we are. I do think 263 is a pretty good number. Good. I'll do 275. I'll do 275. How about that?
I'm already getting hate mail from your initial comment. So
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I thought it might add some levity.
It went over like a fart
and it went over like
church.
a lead balloon.
Yeah, it did not go over.
I apologize. I'm sorry, people, but you got you might have hated the media, so I don't know. Okay, I'll stop it. I won't ever bring that up again.
Yeah, please,
I'm done.
please. Yes.
Delete this from the on demand, please. Delete this.
Like I can always tell when my sweat when my sweat meter goes off. I'm like, woo,
As it was coming out of my mouth, I could feel your butt cheeks clenching or whatever. Although going, no,
don't do that.
I can feel it. No.
Yeah.
All right, Jackson, are you ready?
I'm ready, Tony.
All right, so I'm on the way out of here, and I just want to wish everybody.
I gotta hit the pharmacy at Midtown first. I mean,
okay.
Somebody doesn't show up like one day a week. I mean, poor old TJ's over here just.
Hold on, no. I heard he called you to the principal's office, and he did a little rat-a-tat-tat on Wednesday, but we weren't going to talk about that.
The Pharmacy at Midtown, independent-owned pharmacy specializing in walk-in prescriptions, medicine on time, packaging, compounding needs. The only sterile compounding facility in Tuscaloosa. The Pharmacy at Midtown. T.J. Thomas, the hard-to-get medication. The Pharmacy at Midtown. The Pharmacy at Midtown. T.J. Thomas. All right, you and Jackson do your thing.
I just want to wish everyone have a great weekend. Be careful, be safe if you're out there traveling. And
thank you, Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Thank you, Jalen Milroe.
Roll Tide, everybody.
Thanks.
Sorry if I made you mad. Please forgive me, everybody.
Do 20 push-ups and we'll forgive you.
I'll do 20 curls.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just do it. You know, you got to do it one at a time. Just keep count. Thanks, Tony. Let's go to Henry in Texas. Henry, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Hey, Ryan. Good to speak to you on this wonderful Friday.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide. How's Texas?
Hey, unfortunately, I can't feel sorry for you, for y'all over there in Tuscaloosa about the weather. I mean, last week here we were looking at 108. Today it is a cooler 94, which is a much relief here.
Yeah, well, global warming is easy sell in the summer. It really is. I mean, I know we call it whatever the flavor of the week, climate change, it flips flop, but it'd be an easy sell throughout the month of August in the South, wherever you may be.
Well, it's summertime. That's what I used to, when I was working down at a resort, we'd have people from the north come down in August, and they would be sitting there complaining about how hot it is. And I'm looking at them like, you do know where you're at. It's summertime. You're in the South, and it's August. What were you expecting, a snowstorm? And they just look at me like I was crazy. So.
Well, it's good to be a little bit milder tomorrow, but yeah, like you said, I mean, somebody calling from Texas, you guys have got the heat, man. It's but
yeah, we had almost 50 straight days last year of 100 degrees. So, yeah, it was a bit toasty last year. Actually, the heat, that high pressure that's been sitting over us, actually moved y'all's way. That's why y'all are getting a lot more toastier than you have been.
Okay. Well,
moved from us and went over to y'all.
Yeah, you can have it back if you'd like, Henry.
No, we're done with it, I hope. But, hey, let me throw in 3 picks real quick so other people can get in.
Okay.
Give me Bama, giving the point.
Bama minus the points. Got it.
The over in the Bama game.
Over in the Bama game. Over's the only total we're playing. Got it. Pick number 3.
And give me Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, total rushing Alabama.
I'm going to go, I was doing 300 and I tried 53 times to get in, so I'm going to go 353.
353. Henry, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, guys. Y'all have a wonderful weekend and roll tide.
Right back to you. Mark's going to be cooking up some great items. The brisket, the baby back ribs, the beef ribs. They're going to be open tomorrow. The grill will be ready, the food off the hot box, and they'll be catering big Boston butts. I mean, they do some amazing barbecue stuff. 10:30 is when that will be available, so you'll be able to go to the Georgia Clemson game or go get your food and then make it back home for that. So if you're looking for little tailgating supplies, Sunday, 1 until 5, also open on Monday as well. It's Mark's Mark, downtown Northport under that Roll Tide Bridge, Selma, Alabama. Since 1978. It is home of the Chicken Swirl. You'll find that. Cakes, dips, appetizers, pies. You will find our good friends. Go see Jacob under that Roll Tide Bridge in downtown Northport. If you're new to the area and you said, hold on, I'm just in Tuscaloosa for the game, you cross over the bridge. You go literally, probably a half a mile. Not even that. You go up under the bridge, and you're right there. I mean, it's our good folks right there at Mark's Mark since 1978 in Selma, Alabama.
Hello. But, I think everybody agrees who the GOAT is. But I think that by the end of this season, we will be able to confirm the fact that he set another record that nobody's really talking about yet. He's going to be considered the greatest GOAT retirement of all time.
Oh, what do you mean, like in the media business?
His retirement was perfect. He's doing great. We're doing great. It's a win-win-win-win-win all the way around. Can you think of anybody, any football coach that's ever retired and the situation was so good for everybody that was, around that coach?
I think good reminder. Good reminder.
He's just set the bar, and it'll be proven out. Just like when you have a recruiting class, you got to wait and see what happens in the preseason prognostication. Here, we got to make our picks and see how it goes. But Ryan, I think I've been telling you.
Hey, Homer Crimson, your cell phone is really starting to fade. A lot of static. I don't want to. If you may want to give me your picks because I'm barely hearing you.
Oh, really? Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'm in the car.
Okay.
All right. Give me
Clemson.
Alabama.
Bama.
And help me out with the third one. I'm not sure. I haven't been hearing many of your lines today.
We got Miami at Florida. Miami at Florida. It's Miami minus the 2.5. Tennessee's going to be hosting Chattanooga. 38.5 is UT. Virginia Tech, Vanderbilt. Virginia Tech minus 13.5. Georgia minus 11.5 against Clemson. You've already went there. Oklahoma minus the 42 against Temple. That game's actually tonight, starting here in about 25 minutes. Then you've got Texas minus 33.5. Old Dominion at South Carolina.
Okay. All right. You gave me enough. Give me Oklahoma.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
And give me what you talking about, rushing yards, right?
It was total rushing yards for the University of Alabama.
Okay. My understanding, Western Kentucky's weakest area on defense is their rush defense. So we're going to be running it a good bit, I think. I think we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 total yards, but I think we'll have about 275 rushing yards.
All right, 275. Bama.
And let me tell you one more thing, if I can.
Yes.
Was there more of that, by the way?
No, you got it. Clemson, Bama, Oklahoma, 275. You got it.
I've been telling you what to look for with Georgia. If they don't beat the line against Clemson, you can write them off. You follow me?
Okay.
Because the pressure is going to be on Georgia more than anybody else. They're going to be under pressure. If they don't beat the line against Clemson, they're going to have a hard time beating us, and the rest will be history. But that's just my prediction. I'm sure Dawson would agree with me.
And I've been thinking about Dawson all day. I don't know. He's been on my mind. And for those who don't know, Dawson was 24 years calling our show and one of the most spirited Alabama guys that was out there. And he would always call in with these big predictions, and he would criticize when people thought Alabama was going to barely, beat somebody by 45 points. That's not enough. That's not enough. Yeah. So we miss our buddy.
On his behalf, I'll say 66-3 for him, but I called you yesterday, so he already had that, so I went 52-6.
Gotcha.
So we'll see how it goes, but I think that it's in the air, Ryan. It's in the air. So roll Tide.
Roll Tide to you. And I'm gonna try to give you some news in the last 15-20 minutes. Got a little bit of a news here that we'll try to share with you and try to work that in the conversation. Let's go 205-342-9904, and we go to Kit Kat. Kit Kat, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Roll Tide, Ryan. How are you?
Roll Tide.
We just rolled into town. We're at Lake Tuscaloosa already.
Okay.
And the whole trip was made while I was on hold. That's okay. It's worth it.
It is. It's been a day. It's just been a day.
Well, I get in every time right before 5 o'clock. I don't know how that happens, but it just is my thing. So that's when I started trying to dial, and I got in pretty quickly. But anyway, so how things going?
Busy.
You ready?
Busy. Oh no, I'm ready. Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, I bet you are busy.
No, I'm ready. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to deliver. Because I've got who's going to be starting at right tackle, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to dance around it.
Wow! You're delivering that news right after this call.
I possibly will. Yes, I will.
Okay. Well, everybody's going to be going, God dang, Kit Kat, hurry up!
Don't leave the radio. This is what we call a radio tease. But yeah,
I can be like Bama Nick. I'm the number one caller, y'all. So I'm not hanging up. I'm sorry. Sorry, Bama Nick. I know you're listening, but that was just a joke. Anyway.
Well, that's probably the most talked about position on this Alabama football team is right tackle.
Yeah.
Is because you feel like the other four is pretty solid. And Caden's had a great camp too, by the way. I think, he's needed this camp, and I think he got a lot of confidence back. So.
Well, I know that y'all have a lot. Well, let's just say you didn't have much access with our first coach, but have you been able to? I mean, are y'all able to go out to practice and everything?
Yeah,
is it open like that?
We had 9 practices, 8,
That's
9,
awesome.
whatever it was. Oh yeah, listen, Kit Kat, this is no joke. I've been in the football building more since Kalen DeBoer has been here than I was in for 17 years in Tuscaloosa. I think I'm going to vote we shut it down just where I don't have to. I mean, when I turn in my tax receipts to my accountant, Don Wallace, he's not going to believe the amount of trips that I've taken to the complex. He's going to be like, are you sure? Yes.
He's probably so excited to be the new coach for the University of Alabama that he just wants to tell everybody about it and every media source.
Yeah, it's like, okay, one day it is, it's coach, and then one day it's assistant coaches, one day it's players. I mean, it is like an all-you-can-eat buffet. I mean, Jackson, do we play 30% of the audio clips? Maybe 30%. Probably not even that.
I would say probably less, 15, 20.
I mean, literally. I mean, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet of content. I mean, it's...
Oh, that's awesome.
So, Kalen DeBoer, we say thank you. Thank you. Kit Kat, I got to get out of here. Give me 3 picks.
I know. Okay, I'm going to go with Clemson, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, got it.
And LSU.
Who?
LSU.
Yeah. All right. And then...
okay, and this crazy number, of course, is Britt. He always has to do a crazy number. He's going with 202.
Okay, 202.
I know.
Okay. All right. Well, then,
I try to convince. I'm like, are you sure that's a little low? He's like, that's the point.
And you guys you're gonna have to check out new Southern Ale House up at the lake. It is an absolute.
I know. I really,
beautiful.
really wanted to go tonight, but we're cooking out for DJ. He
just when
really wanted us to grill out. He's missed us being up here, so. It's going to be a good game. We've got a bunch of people coming to the tailgate. My son is here with his his newlywed, and we're going to have a good time. I hope that we get to see y'all, but I have a feeling.
Yeah, I thought I saw you. I thought I saw you earlier today. I don't know. It could have been. It may have been somebody else. But were you wearing a Kamala shirt?
Man,
I follow you on Twitter enough to say that that's not true. I'm sorry.
How did you find me out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were burning down a building and a couple of other things, and I said, I think that's Kit Kat, and so.
Yeah, I was wearing my Kamala T-shirt and my big cowboy hat with my sparkly Trump with the flag
and
on
it had a
it.
shirt on it.
Well.
It said Kamala Cannon, and it said "Save the Giraffes" is what it was on the back. I think is what it was.
If it said anything, it said "I'm not with her."
Oh,
is what
okay.
It said.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. I'm just teasing. I'm pulling your leg, but
Proud conservative,
you keep
proud
keep it up on Twitter. You just keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up.
I'm trying. Thank
Thank
Been
you.
a little busy, but.
Thank you.
Okay, roll tide. I hope to see y'all tomorrow.
Hey, we'll do it. Thank you, Kit Kat. Thank you. Southern Ale House Dockside, which I've already talked about. They're going to be open for Labor Day. They're closed every Monday. They just opened up yesterday. We've been to a couple of these soft openings. Tuesday 4 to 9, Wednesday 4 to 9, Thursday 11 until 9, Friday 11 until 10. That is today. Saturday 11 until 10. Sunday also, if you're out on the lake enjoying a beautiful day, it is 1512 Marina Drive, Northport, Alabama. They'll be open on Labor Day. They're open all weekend today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. And then they'll be back there on Tuesday for dinner, Wednesday for dinner, lunch on Thursday. Oh, my friend, and I'm sorry we cut you off just a second ago. My apologies.
Okay. Hey, Ryan, it's going to be Alabama, it's going to be Georgia, and it's going to be Texas A&M.
Hold on. Whoa. I'm sorry. Georgia, and I wasn't ready. Continue.
Okay.
Georgia.
Alabama, Georgia, and Texas A&M. Total rushing yardage is going to be 237.
237. Hey, quick, Dave. Have a good weekend, man.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Let's go to David and Romulus. David, good afternoon. You're in the game.
I'll make it quick. I'm going to do some different ones here. See, I'm going to go Southern Miss.
Okay.
Ole Miss. And
whoa. Who's Southern Miss playing?
Aren't they playing Kentucky?
Let me look. Man, that's like really, really weird.
I thought they were. I may be wrong.
They are. No, there is 27. I just hadn't. You'll be the first guy. USN.
Yeah, that's why I like so Southern Miss.
Okay.
Continue. Ole Miss. Okay, you got Ole Miss and Vanderbilt.
Okay, and Vanderbilt is Virginia Tech. All right, and then Bama rushing yards.
Man, I had 238, so I'm gonna stay with 238.
Okay. Thank you, David.
Right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. David out in Romulus. Let's go to Bama Jam out in Texas. Bama Jam, good afternoon. You're in the game.
Hey, brother, how are you doing?
Man, it's been too long. It's been too long.
I know. What's the over-under on Bama?
I heard a rumor about you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I heard you was out there flirting with them Auburn girls. That's what I heard. I'm just kidding.
Well, I was, I was, but it was only because of Dawson and respect for him and how he used to love, to pull for Auburn. Too,
Yeah. All right. Continue. I'm sorry. All right.
What's the over and under?
The only one we're playing is Bama. It's 59.5. 59.5. That's the only over-under we're playing.
Okay, I'm going over.
Bama over. Got it.
And what's the spread? Is it
31.5? 31.5.
Yeah, I'm going Bama over, and I'm going with the Ags.
All right.
Ags are going to shock the world.
Going to shock the world. All right, here we go.
That's right.
How many rushing yards?
They've been talking it up big time out here, too.
How many rushing yards?
251.
251. Bama Jam at right tackle. Wilkin Formby will get the start at right tackle, but I will say this: they're going to rotate. Going to rotate quite a bit. So Wilkin Formby will be the starting right tackle initially, and we'll see. But anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I just think tomorrow what I would watch is defense, specifically defensive backs.
Okay.
I think if we have a little trouble there, could be an issue.
And we'll see if TJ Finley can stretch it. We'll see. Jackson, I appreciate your help. It's been a great week. It's been a crazy day. I think we may have broke a record today on parlay picks in one day. We took a lot of phone calls. We do it every day. We will not be here Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday starting at 2. I want to thank our law enforcement officers, EMTs, firefighters, first responders, highway patrol. We thank you. We appreciate you. We also remind you that we call this program The Game, and the only way that you can win the big game, the game of life, is to walk daily with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I got Alabama winning 49-10. I think Alabama stomps a mud hole in the Hilltoppers. We want to welcome you guys to our town, but hey, we'll see you guys Tuesday at 2. Roll Tide.
You can understand my dream.
Thank you for listening to The Game with